start. We can start up. Make sure that it started. Just making sure that it starts. All right, cool. Yeah, we're starting. All right, cool, y'all. So we are live on all three YouTubes. There it is. All right, y'all. We are live on all three YouTubes. I'm not going to do Facebook or Twitch today, but we are live on all three YouTubes. So if you're watching me from Volcy Thoughts or the Deconstruction Junction or the Black Atheist Coalition, I definitely appreciate you. Just make sure that, yeah, the sound is there. What the hell is going on with this? All right, y'all, if you're watching me from the Deconstruction Junction or my personal YouTube channel or from the Black Atheist Coalition, I definitely appreciate you. All right, y'all. So this is what I do, okay? I do not talk to comments. So if you have a question or anything like that, I'm just going to go ahead and invite you up. Just like how Mountain right there has in the Mountain. If you would like to come talk to me about it, go ahead and just hit that request button. Because I don't like talking to comments. I just want you to come on up and have the discussion instead of us going back and forth in comments. I think it's pretty much a waste of time for us to go back and forth in the comments when we could just talk to each other. Woke up this morning. All right, we do have a guest. I think the name is Doja. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. All right, Doja, are you at least 18? Do you have a religious tradition, and are you a Black person?
Yeah, well, I'm biracial, so you know how that go. One dropper. My dad is Black, so and I wouldn't say I particularly have a religion. I used to kind of follow the Hebrew philosophy, but now I look at it as more spiritual, in a sense. But I agree with the with what's up there. Black people should not be Christian, Muslim, or BHI. I could agree and disagree at the same time. Only in the sense of if they're following the religion, then they should be conscious and aware of the history of where the religion came from and how it got so widespread. A lot of us don't know that all of these people did, Christians, Muslims, etc., did have our ancestors enslaved. But if it helps them to develop a more spiritual connection to a higher power, sorry about my youngin in the background. If it helps us to gain more spiritual connection to a higher power, then you know, that's cool. But you should be conscious of what you follow and believe in.
Yeah. So in my opinion, the way it goes is that even though you're free to do whatever you want, the reason why I think that Black people shouldn't is because of exactly what you said. Number one, these were the religions of our enslavers, right? That's number one. That's the religion of our enslavers, and I don't think people should follow religions that were used to justify their enslavement and colonization. That's number one. But the second thing that I would say is to your point of helping us or helping people come to a spiritual basically life or spirituality. Number one, I would say that you don't need that to be spiritual. That's the first thing I would say. And the second thing that I would say is that why do Black people even need to be spiritual? You know what I mean? These things are not necessary, right? I don't think it's necessary to be spiritual, and I don't think Christianity or Islam are necessary to achieve that. We already had our own thing going on before those hit the continent, so why not just go back to those?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say to that in agreement that I know throughout history a lot of things that came from our people in the past have been mixed in with modern religions, from what I see, and that you never know how. If you believe in a higher power, I believe in a higher power. You never know how his will is gonna be formed. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody might be a Christian for 20 years before they run into a deeper connection with what take them back to their roots. And it don't gotta be religion or spirituality, but a connection with a higher power in a sense. But you never know what somebody's journey is going to lead them to. So but I agree that we shouldn't be Christians or Muslims or none of that. You know what I'm saying? We should be more connected with our roots, if anything.
Yeah, I could agree that you never know a person's journey, right? I just don't think that that we need to have any type of connection to a higher power. I don't think that part is necessary. Of course, there are folks who, for example, there's secular spirituality, right, where you find spirituality and gratefulness and all that in a secular form of view. But even when it comes to that, I don't think it's necessary for us to have anything spiritual. But if we're gonna agree here, then that's all good and well, Doja. I appreciate you being up, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next guest. I appreciate you, though.
Oh, no problem. I was gonna ask you a question.
Oh yeah, sure.
Cool.
What's your question?
So if you don't think that we should have a connection to a higher power or spirituality, right? What do you think keeps our heart beating at night when we're sleeping?
Our brain, essentially.
Essentially, with some cases, people can be brain dead and their heart still beat at the same token. Though the brain does send the sensory down to the nerves, I agree.
Yeah, that's always done by machines. Once you turn the machines off, if the person's brain dead, once you turn the machines off, their heart's gonna stop beating.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I guess I think I get it from, and I'm gonna wrap it up here, from in my sense, us as humans, like myself, I'm intellectual enough to maybe take a car motor route if I understand it and put another one in, but not intellectual enough to tell my heart to stop beating before my brain loses oxygen, and then it start to beat again. So I believe it's something spiritual keeping my heart beating. That's all.
No, it's your brain. But hey, I appreciate you though, Doja. We'll talk soon, all right? All right, guys. Like I said before, I don't talk to the comments, so go ahead and request up if you disagree with what I have on the board. Don't just call me stupid or ignorant in the comments. Actually come on up and talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's actually have the discussion. Hey, I appreciate the gifts. All right, I appreciate the gifts, y'all. Keep them coming, and I appreciate all the discussion that we have today. Keep tapping that screen. If you're watching over from the deconstruction junction, I appreciate you there. The link to join is right there on the bottom. The link to join to discuss me is right there on the bottom. So if you would like to discuss, for everybody who keeps saying that Christianity began in Africa, no, it did not. All right, it did not start in Africa. The Bible even says they were first called Christian in Antioch. Antioch is famously not on the continent of Africa. So y'all got to stop with all that. All right, Sin, go ahead and come on up so we can go ahead and have that discussion. And let's see, Epic, go ahead and come on up as well. And person with user, go ahead and come on up as well, user. I always invite people up, y'all. Let's just actually have the discussion, y'all. Like, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people where I don't mind speaking to people who are polite, speaking to people who would like to know my position and everything like that. It's just going back and forth in the comments is a waste of time. You know what I mean? All right, Sin, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How about you?
I'm all right. All right. So are you at least 18? Do you have any of the religions on top? And are you a black person?
Yeah, I'm 26. I'm not black, and I was raised Christian, so I am familiar with that.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. I don't believe black people should be Christian. Do you think we should?
No, I'm just. I was just curious to your argument why.
Okay, I don't believe people should be following the religion of their enslavers and the religion of what was used to justify their colonization and oppression, which Christianity and Islam are.
So you see no benefit in a religion that's used to help people based on skin color?
No, I'm not gonna lie that it's used to help people, but it's not necessary to help people. Is it? Like, you can still help people without being a Christian. You can still have a spiritual life without being a Christian. You can still have drive and all that without being Christian or Muslim. So it's not necessary. So I would say it's a religion of our enslavers and colonizers. So we shouldn't follow religions that was used to justify our colonization and enslavement. Number two, it's not necessary. Number three, we can't even show it to be true.
You like a black Christian if you ran into them, would you?
You have a very short memory.
I mean, but isn't that just your opinion? Like, some people actually have faith in it.
Yes, that is just my opinion. Like I said before, you can be that if you want. I'm just going to tell you why I think that you shouldn't.
I think that's valid. I think that's pretty valid.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Was that your only question?
Yeah, I was just curious. Yeah.
All right, cool. Not a problem. Hey, appreciate you being up. All right, guys. So as you can see, I'm well enough to have a conversation with people, right? So I'm not sure why folks either tell me that I'm trolling or calling me stupid or anything like that. Let's actually be polite to each other and have a discussion, and we can get through it. All right. All right, yep. Kepler, how's it going, Kepler? Are you at least 18? Yep. Are you any of the religious up top, and are you a black person?
Yeah, Christian.
All right, you're a black person?
Well, I'm Ethiopian, so I'm African.
Ethiopians are black, right?
I mean, it depends.
Oh, it depends.
Some people say that like Africans aren't black, so it depends.
So it depends on which ethnic group you're part of. It is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying some people don't consider Africans to be black. Like they make a distinction.
I do.
Okay. Yeah. Like, why don't you think black people shouldn't be Christian?
All right. It's the religion of our enslavers and our colonizers, especially for Western Africa.
Colonizers.
Yeah, it's a religion of our enslavers and colonizers. For Western and Central Africa, especially. It's not. We can't show it to be true. It's not necessary for any. Hold on. Let me just finish what I'm saying. So, for Western, Central, and Southern Africa, it's the religion of our colonizers. Number two, it's we can't show it to be true, and number three, it's not necessary for anything in our lives. So, that's why I'm not, and I don't think black people should be.
Yeah. So, like we said about colonizers, like, can you give me examples? Right, because you do realize it was in a lot of what's it called? It was in Ethiopia before all these like European countries, if that's what you're referring to.
No, it was in Greece before it was in Ethiopia.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I mean, you can search it up, dude.
What was Paul?
What was Paul? What about Paul?
Paul was Greek.
So, okay.
Yeah, so it was in Greece before.
Yeah, he was
writing to the church in Corinth before he was doing so in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Corinth is famously in Greece. So Christianity was there before it was in Ethiopia.
Yeah, as a national identity? No.
You didn't say national identity. You didn't say that. You didn't. Kepler.
You specified it.
Kepler. No, you need to specify because you said, hold on, Kepler. No, it was your claim. You're the one who said that it was in Africa before it was in Europe. That's incorrect because, hold on.
Yeah.
You said it was in Africa before it was in Europe. That's incorrect because Paul was Greek and he was writing to the church in Corinth before it got to Ethiopia. So obviously it was in Europe before it was in Africa. Now, if you're going to say it as a national identity, that's a whole nother claim. As a national identity, I think the first Christian nation was actually Armenia before it was Ethiopia.
Yeah. Do you consider Armenia to be colonizers?
No, but I'm not talking. Okay. I didn't claim that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so like it'd just be redundant to say that there was a few people in that were Christian in Greece at the time. That's like almost meaningless information, right?
It's not. Your claim was that it was in Africa, and it wasn't. It was in Greece before it was in Africa. No. That's a completely different claim. That's a completely different claim.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure they would have been like persecuted at that time for being Christian, right? Because I know like at that time
didn't come into hundreds of years later.
What like?
Well, probably not hundreds. Actually, let me correct myself. It wasn't hundreds of years later. I think it was like decades later afterwards when the Romans started persecuting the Christians. But like, but hold on. The claim that you are making was a claim of presence. Was it in Ethiopia before it was in Europe? No, because it spread to Greece before it got to Ethiopia. Right now, if you're going to say as a national, hold on, bro. If you're going to claim as a national identity, that's a different claim. I think Ethiopia was one of the first, but the first, I think it was Armenia, right? But Ethiopia was one of the first. I agree with you.
I could use Armenia as an example too, right?
Right, but Armenia is not in Africa.
Yeah, but it's just going to be redundant to say, there was one person that was Christian in Greece prior.
But there wasn't one person. That's not redundant. That's not redundant because your claim was a claim of no, it's not. Your claim was a claim of presence. It doesn't matter if it was one person. It was present in Greece before it was in Ethiopia. Number two, it definitely wasn't just one person. They had a whole church over there, so it was hundreds of them.
Do you think a church needs to be like? They can literally just be like multiple people, right?
In early Christianity, the churches were not just
an actual meaningful presence.
In early Christianity, the churches were not just one or two people. There were dozens to hundreds of people. So it wasn't. It wasn't an insignificant presence. And number two, that was not your claim. It doesn't matter if there were 300 people in Greece who were Christian. Hold on. Let me just finish what I'm saying. It does not matter if it was 300 people in Greece. And then over in Ethiopia, 50 years later, the whole nation became one. The fact of the matter is, it was present in Greece before it was present in Ethiopia. That's the claim. And that's the factual claim, right? Now, as a national identity, Ethiopia did that before Greece. I'm not denying that.
Yeah, and you take that Greece is like colonizers or?
No, I'm not taking Greece as a colonizer.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean anything.
All right, so hold on. The people who colonized Africa, who were they?
It was the French, the English, Belgium.
All of which were Christian.
Okay.
All right. So we're saying that. Hold on. I'm not talking about Ethiopia. I'm talking about the colonizers, right? The people who colonized and carved up Africa were Christian, right or wrong?
Does that reflect Christianity?
Yes.
No. As the actual religion and faith, no.
Yeah. No, Christianity allows for colonization. There's plenty of verses in the Bible where they colonize others.
Yeah, like are you gonna like reference to like what's it called?
The Old Testament.
Yeah. Wait, you think Christianity is the representation of the Old Testament?
Yeah. Do you not have to take the entire Bible into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, we can affirm it. Yeah. Well,
exactly.
The Old Testament is a part of the religion, right? But that's not the representation. It's the New Testament. The New Testament is literally the representation of Christianity.
Okay. Slow down.
Like really bad.
So if the New Testament is representative of Christianity, the 10 Commandments no longer matter, right?
What? That's a complete straw man of what I just said.
That's not a straw man of what you said.
Yeah, the New Testament is a representation of Christianity.
I understand that the New Testament is a representation of Christianity. So if that's the case, does the Old Testament no longer matter?
Yes, it can still hold weight.
Okay, so if it can still hold weight, the violent and slavery verses in the Old Testament still hold weight.
I can refute those slavery verses, right? There's going to be like a distinction. Yeah. Well, there's going to be like a distinction between like indentured slavery and like chattel slavery, right?
Is Leviticus 25:44 chattel slavery or not?
Yeah, give me the verse.
Your male and female slaves are to come from the nation around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also keep some of the temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born into your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property, and you can make them slaves for life. But you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. That's from the NIV. You want me to read from the NRSV?
I don't hold to the NIV.
You want me to read from the NRSV, which is the scholarly Bible?
I don't hold to that either.
Doesn't matter. It's the scholarly Bible. Which one do you hold
I don't care. I don't hold to it. What?
Which one do you hold to then?
Yeah, I hold to the Ethiopian Bible.
The Ethiopian Bible? I can't read these. So I have to read
Giz?
one in English.
You say Giz?
Yeah, I can't read that. So I need to read the one.
Well, yeah,
in
you can
English.
obviously get like translations, right?
All right. So what's the best translation from Gez to the to English? What's the best translation?
I mean, I personally couldn't tell you.
Okay, so how can you say that you're not going to hold to that, but I have to read English? I can't read Gez.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to be affirming the Ethiopian Bible. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to speak Giz, right?
Does the Ethiopian Bible has Leviticus?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'm reading an English translation then.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, bro.
Hold on. Kepler, can you show that the Leviticus version of what I'm reading in Gez is not a translation? Can you show that?
Yeah, I'll actually pull it up. Just give me I'm on my phone,
cool.
right? So I'll let you know when I find it.
All right, so I'm reading an English translation, right? I obviously can't read Gez. So if you say, "Oh, I don't hold to this,"
it might take me a little bit. Yeah, it might take me a minute. So just give me a second.
So I understand that, but what I'm saying is that I have to read an English translation because I can't read Gez, obviously.
Okay. I'll get you the verse.
So
don't worry.
Kepler, chill.
I'm getting
I have
you
to read
verse.
it. Be quiet for a second. Stop talking when I'm talking. I have to read an English transversion, obviously, because I can't read Gez. So what I'm asking you is, are you going to say that this verse that I just read in English from Leviticus, is it going to be different or the same as it is in the Ethiopian Bible?
Yeah, that's why I'm going to check, right? So I'm going to check.
All right. I'm in Leviticus 25:44.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go check, right? So just give me a minute. Wait, what was the verse again?
Leviticus 25:44-46. Does it say the same thing? If you're talking, I can't hear you. All right, y'all. Go ahead and keep tapping that screen while he's looking for that. I can't hear him if he's talking. Go ahead and tap that screen if you're enjoying the live so far. If you would like to talk about what I have on the board, go ahead and just hit that request button. My mods will invite you up if you are arguing back and forth with them. They're just going to go ahead and invite you up so you can talk to me. We're going to wait till Kepler is back. Until then, I just got to go ahead and make sure that my other guests here are about 18 and affirm or disagree with what I have on the board. Victory, are you at least 18 and do you have any type of religious tradition?
Yes, I'm above 18 and I don't agree with your statement.
Okay. Do you have any type of religious tradition?
I would say Christianity.
All right, great. Black person. Actually, you have an accent from the West Indies, so you my people. All right. So give me 1 second. Juice King, are you at least 18? And do you have any religious tradition, especially those on top?
I'm 32, and I agree with the prompt completely.
All right, cool. Not a problem. All right. Kepler, are you back? Yeah, Kepler, again, if you swipe out the app, I can't hear you. So if you're talking right now, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah, no, it is the same, right? But like as the way it is speaking, right? It's in more of like a rhetorical, descriptive way.
I don't even know what that is supposed to
right.
be.
It's just like yeah. So that verse is just gonna be like it's just gonna be like a descriptive way of like the social norms.
Okay, yeah, I understand that was
Right,
scriptive.
it's not
of the social,
prescriptive.
hold on. I understand it's describing the social norms, but at the end of the day, this was God speaking to this. So
no,
yes,
it's a descriptive way of how the Israelites were at that current time. So just their ethical standard. It wasn't prescribing anything.
So this was not God speaking to the Israelites. This verse.
Yeah, no, it was a descriptive way. Yeah, no, I mean it was a descriptive verse of like.
So when it has the quotes around here, it says your male and female states are combination around you. Who is your and who's giving them this instruction?
Right. Yeah. No. At that current time, yeah, it was just like saying, right. Yeah, you can, based on this like ethical norm.
Right. And who was doing that? Who was telling them that?
The Israelites.
Right. But no, this was telling the Israelites. Right. This was an instruction to. This was hold on. Yes. Because it says it's speaking basically it's not speaking in third person, it's speaking in first person. It's saying you.
Yeah,
Who's the person
you
speaking
based
to
on
them?
these ethical Israeli norms
Kepler.
at the current time?
Who
It's
is the one?
descriptive.
Kepler. Who is the one speaking to
Listening.
them?
It was a descriptive way.
That's not answering my question.
You literally affirmed that earlier. I don't know why you're like.
No, but you're not answering my question. Who is speaking to them?
Nobody. It was a descriptive.
So these are just laws.
No, it was a descriptive verse of like how the social norms were at that current time, right? So
If it was a
stating that,
descriptive verse,
you can based on these ethical norms.
If it was a scripture verse about what was going on at the time, how come it just didn't say the Israelites had male and female slaves that came from a nation around them? If it was just descriptive, someone here is actually speaking to the Israelites.
It's literally the same thing.
No, it's not. Someone is speaking to the Israelites here. Does the verse says you're male and female slaves, or did it says the Israelites had male and female slaves? Which one does it say?
Yeah, no, that would be prescriptive.
Does the verse says you're male and female slaves?
It's still that's still the descriptive
Kepler,
verse.
I'm
dude.
sorry that the middle of my verse interrupted the beginning of yours. So does the verse says your male and female slaves come from a nation around you, or does it say the male and female slaves of the Israelites came from a nation around them? Which one does it say?
Let me check. Yeah, the first one.
It says you are okay. So someone is speaking to the Israelites. Who's speaking to them?
It's still descriptive, dude.
All right, man. All right, Kepler, you have anything else?
No.
All right, cool. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. Once again, keep tapping that screen. We're at 6,000 likes. I'm gonna go ahead and put up a new gift goal. Y'all, I do have a super fan goal as well. I appreciate y'all for helping me out with the gift goal. I'm gonna go ahead and put up another goal up. Again, y'all are amazing. I have a super fan goal. If y'all want to help me out with that, please help me out with that as well. And let's see what we have here. Victoria, give me 1 second, okay? Victoria, I'm gonna go ahead and get to you in a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and put another goal up. Yeah, let's go ahead and put up 5 caps. All right, cool. All right, y'all. New goal up. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that to the top, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next guest. If you disagree with what I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. So for appreciate that. Hey, we already hit that goal. Hey, yo, W for us in that goal. Hey, Bar, go ahead and come on up, Bar. Go ahead and come on up so we can go ahead and host it together. Appreciate the goal. If you want to talk about what I have on the board, definitely go ahead and come on up. I appreciate you so much. We have one more person up here. Godwin, you requested but then dropped. I'm not sure what happened there. All right, Victoria, your time to shine. How's it going? You already told me that you are 18 and you disagree with what I have on the board. I know that you're West Indian from the accent, because that's my people as well. I'm Haitian. So Victoria, Trinidad, Jamaica, Bahamas, Barbados, which one? Jamaica, yeah, that's my wife's. My wife is Jamaican. All right, so Victory. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say Victoria. Victory. How's it going, Victory? Why do you think that Black people should be Christian?
Okay, number one. Okay, I listened to the 3 points, the 3 points or 3 reasons you gave why they shouldn't. But one, you said that Christianity didn't originate, in amongst amongst Africans. Mm-hmm. But from the scriptures, from the New Testament, it tells us about the Ethiopian eunuch that had a conversation with one of the disciples, and he explained categorically what Christianity was about, and Jesus dying for sin, the whole gospel message. And after he was finished, the Ethiopian was convinced and said, see water here, because after he listened, he said, see water here, why not baptize me? And he was baptized, and he was translated back to where he was, where he's from. So I didn't see anywhere where, in terms of where Christianity came through colonialism to Ethiopia.
Okay.
Based on the scriptures, what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. So
Yes.
when it came to Ethiopia, right? Yeah, they got it because it spread there naturally. That's how they got it. But when it comes to where we're from, because we descend from Western and Central Africans. If you're on this side of the planet, if you're African American, if you're a black person from South America, if you're from the West Indies, we descended from Western and Central Africans, right? So the way that it was brought over for those side is through the Portuguese, through the French, through the English, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how it got over to that side, through colonialism, through those groups. So when it comes to Ethiopians, I don't think they should be either, because they had their own thing going on before Christianity got there. And it was their leaders who became Christian. It wasn't the people. And it was forced on them too. But when it comes to specifically us over in Western and Central Africa, 100% it got there through colonialism. It was the Portuguese who brought it there. It didn't get there naturally.
Okay, but the other thing again, but Ethiopia was not necessarily a specific a geographic area. Ethiopia, in terms of Africa, was a larger scale then than it is now.
That's not what we see in their own maps. Even according to like the Ethiopian kingdoms that was going on there, their borders went from like the Arabian Peninsula all the way close to Kenya. It didn't go anywhere farther than that, according to them.
Yes, and so I believe that the Christianity was, I would say, transferred to the other territories, even if it was small groupings. But I wouldn't say Christianity came solely from the colonial masters. No, they probably, in terms of their religion, they were Christians. But Christians by religion and Christians by having an encounter with Christ is two separate things. And one of the biggest problem I see what's happening globally is that Christian by religion, the Western world would classify themselves as Christians, but by practice, by relationship with Jesus Christ, they're not Christians, if you understand what I mean in quotes. And sometimes we get that mixed up a whole lot, because the Christianity that I know, I'm being personal here, and
Amen.
some of the people that I encounter, is a personal relationship with a God that transcends every other relationship that I could ever have. This relationship, I have the Christ walking, moving in me, directing me, carrying me along the journey of my life, taking me out of darkness and ignorance and bringing me into light, knowledge and understanding of myself. It's a totally different thing. And I'm saying sometimes we have to be careful. When you meet a Christian, you will not forget.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up Christian, right? My dad was a pastor. We grew up Haitian Pentecostal. So the thing is, when everything that you're talking about, right, all those effects can happen under anything. There are people who worship Jim Jones who said the exact same thing. I don't know if you know who Jim Jones is, but it's something that happened in America.
Yes, I'm aware.
So like people have said the same thing about that, right? And even in ancient times, people thought they had a close personal relationship with Zeus. I get it. Like these are things that have like religious fervor can do those things. I'm not going to doubt that you experience something, right? But that doesn't mean what you experience is attributed to. I don't doubt that you have an experience of something. What I doubt is what you attribute that experience to. And there's no reason for us to believe that an actual God is real just because people felt something. Otherwise, all the other religions are also true.
But sometimes, you know what happened? I'm happy that you just said that your father, your father was a pastor, you said?
Yeah, my dad.
But you know, sometimes, and I've seen it over many, many times, over and over again, that children, sometimes when your parents profess a particular religion, and sometimes they do not represent how you would want them to represent. It's like you're looking to the person and you're disappointed somehow. And sometimes there is a stroke of rebellion that strikes the heart of children, and they go as extreme as they can away from that experience that they have, because they were looking to this father with they look not just as father, but as a mentor, as somebody they should model, and they're disappointed, and they carry to the furthest extremes. But guess what? I know I could hear the questions that you're still asking. You're still asking questions, you know, and
right, so
with time, and
so
I would
Victory,
say
so Victory,
with time you
Victory,
will
Victory,
get. Sorry,
pause for me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Everything that you said didn't happen to me, and I still don't believe. Like, one thing I always tell people is that my parents were very they were good examples of Christianity, right? They never hated on anyone. Now, of course, us being Caribbean, you know, they were very anti-LGBTQ, but besides that, they were never judgmental people. They're some of the nicest people around. My fondest memories were growing up in church. If you ask me what's one of my favorite memories, it's, you know, the times I had in church where we did Christmas pageants and everything like that. So I have no problem with that, right? I don't have any type of trauma from church. I don't have any type of trauma from my parents being bad representatives of Christianity. None of that. They were perfect. They're not perfect, but they were good. You know what I mean? The reason why I don't believe is through pure reasoning and intellectual exercise. When I found out that there's not evidence that this thing is true, and there's not a lot of reason for me to believe it, there's no reason for me to actually hold on to it anymore. When I found out I could be moral and everything like that without Christianity, when I found out that there's no evidence that Jesus rose from the dead, there's no evidence that there's even a God out there, why should I believe something like this and hold on to it when there's no evidence of it? And now that I don't need it, that's why I didn't become Christian anymore. Not because my parents were, you know, bad representations of Christianity. Like, my parents were good representation. My parents are probably the best representation of Christianity, to tell you the truth. You know, it's most loving people you ever meet.
Okay. Yeah, but I also want to say that hold a second there.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yes. Yeah. That yes, I'm glad again that you explain yourself, you know, clarify your position and so on. But you see, in life, there is evidence and there's facts and there is evidence. But you know that as long as we live, as long as you live, as long as I live, and as long as many before us and even those to come, humanity, there is this void or gap in us where we question, right? Where we want answers. And some of the answers are beyond our understanding of things. And as we could live out to 100 years, 120, we will still have questions. I'm not saying that we should dwell in ignorance, you know, as much as it depends, and as much as light in us wherein we want to find answers. I say go search. I wouldn't stop anyone from searching. But guess what? The thing that we call evidence, to me, evidence is progressive, and it is developing, and it is evolving. It is like an evolution. Even now I'm communicating with you via internet. Up to 20 years ago, we could never imagine that. It was not even imagined or conceived. So I'm saying, yes, I understand the position, but questions are always going to be there. Even when we get the immediate one answered, questions are going to be there. And I encourage you, continue your quest and your search. You know, it is good. It intrigued me because I was browsing through and I said, let me listen. I listened to your argument and the conversation. But it doesn't end, my friend. It doesn't end at all.
Okay, I got you. All right, Bar, Juice King, y'all got anything for Victory before we move on to the next guest?
Yes, I do. I got a lot. So I grew up Christian. My parents, you know, they represented Christianity very well. I'm not gonna say I am gonna say this. I believe that Jesus wasn't a real person. I believe that it's just a collective of things that people put together and said, "Oh, we're just gonna say this guy did this just to bring hope to people." So that's like the main reason why I believe that Christianity, or any religion, to be honest, is just a whole facade.
How about you, Bar? Got anything? Bar, you there? He might be busy, but yeah. Victory, did you have any response for what Juice just said? Okay, she's teacupped. All right, y'all. Once again, I appreciate everybody being here. For everyone who's watching me on YouTube, shout out to the Deconstruction Junction. Y'all giving me big W on those numbers. For everyone who disagrees over on Deconstruction Junction, the link to join is right there on the bottom. You have to go ahead and come over to TikTok. Maybe I think by next week Thursday, you'll be able to join me by StreamYard. I'm hoping to have that done. My equipment comes tonight, so I'm hoping to have that done by tomorrow, where people can join me from the StreamYard. But appreciate y'all over on the Deconstruction Junction. Soon y'all will be able to join from StreamYard. If you're over on the Black Atheist Coalition, once again, if you disagree, click on the link and you'll be able to join me there over on TikTok. And over on the Volcy Thoughts channel, I appreciate y'all there as well. Everyone who wants to join can join in from the link. Like I said before, BHI means Black Hebrew Israelite. I don't think black folks should be that either. All right, so Victory is back. Bar, are you there? Are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, there we go. All right,
Yeah.
so did you have anything for Victory?
I had to step away from the computer, so I have no idea what Victory said.
Oh, okay. No, not a problem. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Victory, did you have something for Juice King before we move on?
Yes, the young man who just spoke.
Yes.
Who spoke before? Yes. I would say he says like it's a collection of everything. Yes, Jesus in his representation is a collection. So I don't doubt you or disagree with you. Yes, he's that and more. So that is why you would feel like it's just some ideas concocted and about this great person. But he's that and more. He's beyond that, and that is why we cannot comprehend, and that is why we have the conversations that we do have, because deep, as I said, deep down, we are questioning. We want to understand. We want to find out, and I believe that over time we will get some of our answers. We may not get all, but we will get them with time. Thanks.
All right, cool. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next guest. Appreciate you being up here, Victory. Y'all, you have a great day. All right, Seeking the Way. How's it going, Seeking the Way? Are you at least 18? And do you have any type of religious tradition?
Hi, yeah, I'm 40, and I don't have what's it called again? A sect or determined. I don't forgot how they pronounce it. But I follow the teachings of Jesus. All right,
and Jesus is your Lord and personal Savior?
Yes.
All right, cool. You're a Christian. All right, so what's his name? Her name, I'm sorry, Cleopatra. You there, Cleopatra?
Yeah.
All righty. Are you at least 18? Do you have a religious tradition? And are you a Black person?
Yes, I'm Black. I don't follow any religious. I was raised Jehovah's Witness, but I don't follow any religion.
All right, cool. Do you believe in some sort of God, or believe that Black people should follow any type of? Actually, you said no. All right. We'll get to you, Cleopatra. We'll clarify that later. All right. So Seeking the Way. So I don't think that Black people should be Christian. Why should we be?
I've got something that I've written down regarding something around this, but to go directly, I think the truth, in many different religions and faiths and spirituality, one thing that stays consistent through the stories and names may change, but what stays consistent is the wisdom. The wisdom only comes from God, and then that wisdom stays consistently throughout. Depending on where you are and where you start from your journey, I believe one must always seek great knowledge and understanding, but also be rest assured that with placing your understanding and measuring it towards wisdom, you will be protected and guarded even if you walk through the valley of the day.
Right. So are you familiar? Do you understand how Black people were introduced to Christianity?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that's spiritual? Do you think colonialism? Do you think colonialism and subjugation and racism? Do you think that is spiritual?
Those are people. People are the ones that did that.
Right. People are the ones that spread. Yeah,
Was it
people are
spiritual?
the ones that spread religions. I'm trying to get an understanding of, because we were brought this religion through violence. And I'm trying to see, do you think that is an act of spirituality? Do you think that is a spiritual thing?
It's part of our journey. It's part of the journey of us as humanity.
Yes or no? I need a yes or no. I don't know what to do with that answer. Yes or no?
He said it's part of
So the So the colonialism of non-Christians by Christians is spiritual. That's what you're telling me.
It's crazy.
The thing that Jesus teaches is inward, outward.
Sir, focus with me now. We in the listen. Me, you, and Volcy. Listen to me. Me, you, Volcy, Juice King, and Cleopatra. We're in the mall together, and we're in Foot Locker. Stay with us. Do you think Christians forcing religion on non-Christians, do you think that's spiritual? Yes or no?
No.
Right. So we did not get this religion from Jesus. Jesus did not bring us anything. He didn't write anything. He didn't come down and open the skies over sub-Saharan Africa and say, hey, look, y'all, this is my last revelation. He didn't do that.
Yeah,
right?
It was brought to us through violence and colonialism.
What did he do?
He did nothing. He's not the reason why we're Christian.
Okay. So what did he do? What was his message?
He did nothing because if he was a real person, he would have. If he was a real person, the very first verse of the Gospels is talking about him being a descendant of David. David out of the Old Testament has nothing to do with black people at all. We're not David's descendants. We're not Zechariah's descendants. Hagar, Ishmael, Isaac, Jude, Ruth. we're not the descendants of anyone out of the Old Testament. So off rip, we're dealing with a guy. If he was a real person, he has nothing to do with us. He came for the lost sheep of Israel. We're not Israelites. We're not from Israel. We're not from the Levant. We don't come out of the land of Canaan. So everything about Jesus and his ministry would have been for Jews, by Jews, around Israelites, whatever. It has nothing to do with black people, right?
You see what you see is color.
No. Sir, focus. You stay with me.
So
stay with me. You about to lose. You about to lose me, bro. Stay with me.
So,
all right. Seeking. Hold on, seeking. You need to actually follow the dialogue tree of what we're going down. Okay. So when Christianity started, it started in the Levant. It was all about their culture. We're not descendants of David. We're not descendants of the Israelites. We're not descendants of any of those people. We're over here in Western and Central Africa. We're in the Congo. Nazareth is not in Nigeria. You know what I mean? So these traditions have absolutely nothing to do with black folks. Zero, nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we agree on that before we move on?
Yeah. He comes from different parts of the world that have
now let's move on. Let's move along with that in mind. So on top of this religion, it doesn't have anything to do with us. It's not for us. It's not written by us. It's not written to us. On top of that, we would not be worshiping this God and doing these. We wouldn't be in this religion if not for violence. Do you understand those two things?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. The third. Okay, so it's not ours. And we wouldn't have it if it were not for violence. And you yourself already agreed that them forcing it on us is not spiritual. Do you think colonialism has anything to do with wisdom or divinity or holiness? Any of that? Yes or no?
Colonialism has nothing to do with that.
Okay. So now we have established that it's not ours. Jesus wasn't talking about us. And if he was a real person, he had nothing to do with us. Don't come out of our regions, not written in our languages. You already said that colonialism is not spiritual. You just said that colonialism and violence and forcing religion on people has nothing to do with wisdom and divinity or holiness. None of that. All of these things considered, why should black people practice this religion?
Because it does not negate the truth.
Okay.
So your claim is that Christianity is the truth. Now you would have to go ahead and show how it is the truth. First, you have to show that Jesus even existed in the first place. Then even if we accept that Jesus existed in the first place, you have to show that he had superpowers. Then if you can show that he has superpowers, you have to show that those superpowers came from him being the creator of the universe that chose this insignificant planet out of all the trillions of planets that exist out there in order to fulfill some sort of destiny or sin or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why God will waste time on, the Milky Way galaxy out of the other 26 billion galaxies that we see. Like, I don't know
He
why
likes
he wastes
Milky
time.
Ways, Volcy.
Exactly. I don't know why you waste time here, but sure, let's just go ahead and accept all that. How do we show that, number one, Jesus was a real person? Matter of fact, let's skip that part because you're going to bring up Bart Ehrman and all the scholars, et cetera, et cetera. Let's skip all that. How do we show that Jesus had superpowers?
We have to first of all understand ourselves.
No. I understand myself plenty. How do we show that Jesus had superpowers? That's how do we do that?
I need to understand myself, me.
All right, seeker. Stop. Answer the question that I'm actually giving you. I don't care about understanding yourself. I need to know, how do we know that Jesus had superpowers? How do you do that?
Because the very essence of God lives in the light. The very essence of life lives and is him, saying that we share.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on because that's not gonna give us any type of questions or answers or anything like that. Let's just go ahead and move on because we wasn't gonna get nowhere. I think Buddy was high. Anyway, Cleopatra, how's it going, Cleopatra? So you said that you don't have any type of religious tradition. So you agree with what I have on the board?
Yeah, I would go as far as to say I agree that no person should be following religion, Christianity, Muslim, or whatnot. I don't think it's only like the LK people, because my reason for that has nothing to do with origin, because something can originate in a different place but still be factual, be true, and we can follow it. So that is not necessarily the reason why people shouldn't be Christian, because, white people brought it. If it was valid, then it's valid, right? Regardless of who brought it. It's more about the fact that the Bible contradicts itself quite a lot, right? The Abrahamic God is not a loving, all-knowing God, right? And the reason I say this is the fact that the whole Satan the devil thing, if God is all-knowing and he knows what's going to happen now, what happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future, that means he was aware of who Satan would be. Then why did he create him? So there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that really makes no sense. And I feel like when someone is logical and is not just indoctrinated, well, the Bible says so, my mom and dad said so. Like, when you actually critically think, the Bible does not make any sense. There's been some theories that the people that wrote the Bible might have been high on psychedelics, on shrooms or something like that, right? There's no proof.
That is a hypothesis.
Right. There's no proof that they were inspired by God, right? There's no proof that that's the case. If someone to just be like, well, there's a Bible that was written over 2,000 years ago and these people were inspired by God, you are not there to verify that. Nobody can verify that this book is not a fictional book, it's not a storybook, that any of these people even truly existed, right? It's just, they just take it because my mom and dad said so. And I think that's problematic. People are just religious just because, but they don't actually think for themselves.
Yeah, correct. Hey, based. All right, Cleopatra, stay up for me, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk to some more people. I just gotta go ahead and put up a new gift goal. Hey, y'all, I put that new gift goal up. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and hit up that gift goal so we can go ahead and get it popping. All right, Twan. I'm gonna call you. Yeah, Twan. Twan, how's it going, Twan? Are you at least 18? And hey, we already got the gift goal. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Twan. And it's Twa.
Okay, Twa. Are you at least 18? And do you have any type of religious tradition?
Yes, I'm over 18 and I'm not religious. I was once a Christian, but I left 15 years ago.
All right, gotcha. Give me 1 second. All right, Nightmare or Night Marge. Jesus Christ. All right, Night Marge, are you at least 18 and do you have any type of religious tradition? All right. Double A, are you at least 18 and do you have a religious tradition?
Yes, I am over 18 and I have an Islamic tradition, religion.
Are you black?
Yeah.
Black person. All right, cool. We don't believe that black people should be Muslim either, because it's also the religion of our enslavers. It's not even it's not even indigenous to the continent of Africa. It's basically deifying Arabic culture. So why should we be the religion of our enslavers and deify another culture?
No, Islam is brought down for everyone, not just Arabs. In the Quran, it actually states that Islam is for everyone. Not every person is not greater than a black person. A black person is not greater than a white person.
This is not a discussion about what the Quran says, because that would be doctrine and theology. We're not interested in the doctrine and the theology.
Well,
can you and I agree that this religion comes out of the Arabic world? Yes or no?
It was brought to.
I just need, sir, we know, yes or no? Arabic. Yes or no? Does this come out of the Arabic world? Yes or no?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Isn't it written in Arab? It's written in Arabic, right?
Yes.
Don't you have to learn how to speak Arabic to read the Quran properly?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Every Muslim that I've talked to, they have told me that you have to know Arabic to understand the Quran. That is what is required of you.
Or to at least experience, or at least experience the miracle of the Quran. You have to read it
or basically, would you say that the Quran in its purest, most original form is Arabic, right?
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying,
and that is the language. According to your,
for it to be not to be missed in translation, you do need to understand Arabic so that you can understand it in its original format.
Exactly,
and not the Arabic that's spoken today as well, like the original Arabic that it was brought down.
Exactly, and so
I get your point.
Yeah, and so my point is that black people, African people, we predate Islam by thousands of. Before there was an Islam, we already had culture, civilization, mythology, superstition, spirituality, all of that. Why should we reduce ourselves to a religion that we predate, that also comes out of the Judeo-Christian literature? Why should we do that?
Well, first and foremost, Islam has always been around. All the prophets from Adam all the way down to the last prophet Muhammad has been practicing Islam.
Sir, Islam is mentioned nowhere in the Hebrew Bible or the Christian Bible.
Let me explain to you. Islam is.
No, you don't have to explain it to me.
No, what I'm saying is.
We've read the Bible, sir.
Okay, no,
Islam is. Yes, Islam and Muhammad are nowhere in the Old Testament or the Christian Bible. You would have to have your own subjective interpretation of those scriptures where you're reading into it. But mind you, the Quran is based off of the Old Testament and the New.
Okay, so
for example, in your tradition, in Islamic tradition.
Let me know when you're good so that I can speak.
Go ahead.
All right. What I'm saying is, Islam is the belief that there is only one God, and to pray to that one God Almighty, and to not associate God with anything or anyone but
so double A.
So what? No, let me just say this. I'm not going to take long. Let me just clear that up. So that within itself, I'm saying all prophets. Allah has created everything, and has created Adam and has created everything else. So practicing believing in one God, believing in Allah has been around way before any any other
Sir,
thing,
stop.
any religion.
You're not about to reduce. No, you're not about to reduce all of these people's different deities and mythology and superstitions to Allah. We're not doing that. Islam
I'm not
comes out of
that. What I'm saying is
stop, because what you're saying is not
Islam,
true. Islam
people
prior to the seventh. No, he's incorrect.
He's very incorrect. Double A, hold on, Double A, pause.
I got it. Hush up for a minute. Hush up and listen, black man.
Right.
You don't know shit.
Yeah,
Islam started in 7th century Arabia, not Africa. Muhammad is not an African. This religion has not always been around. It comes out of the Judeo-Christian literature. In Islam, it said that the angel Gabriel out of the Bible revealed the Quran to an illiterate prophet from the fucking desert. Why? Do you understand? This is the telltale sign that they pull, because the archangel Gabriel is not a real thing, right? It's not real. This is Israelite mythology. Your Islamic tradition is saying that a mythological character out of the Old Testament revealed the Quran to a prophet who was illiterate. There's no reason why black people should accept that as true. There's no reason why we should entertain that.
Yeah, and not only that, Double A, you keep saying that, the practice of worshiping one God, that came way before Islam was a thing. And secondly, what I'll also say is that none of those people were worshiping Allah. It was always either Zoroaster or Aten during the ancient Egyptian times. You know what I mean? So it's like the worship of one God has its roots in ancient Egyptian when it was all Atenism. But if it was Allah, wouldn't the ancient Egyptians know it as Allah instead of Aten? And Aten was one of the people in their pantheon. So does that mean that Allah was also part of the pantheon? Like there's a lot of issues that you're having here, right? If you're going to be making that claim. A joke.
And also, when we're talking about black people in Islam, Africans had to fucking rebel against the opposite caliphate in Iraq. If you look up what's called the Zanj Rebellion, if Islam is liberating black people, why did black slaves literally have to rebel against Muslim rulers? Explain that to me.
And after you respond to Double A, we're gonna go to Ems, because Ems is actually a Muslim and has some expertise. Not a Muslim, but a former one who has some expertise on it. Go ahead, Ems.
So, can you catch me up on the topic?
Oh yeah. How's it going, Ems? Hey, y'all, follow Ems. Great person, has a great creator, has lots of information on Islam as well. So Double A, well, I mean, I'm not Double A. So Ems, what we're talking about is that black people should not be Muslim either. And Double A is saying that Islam existed, has always existed, basically, the worship of one God. And we're talking about how that's wrong.
And sure, how does he prove that Islam has always existed?
Yeah, Double A, how do you do that? How do you prove that Islam has always existed? You there, Double A? You can get off mute now. Double A, you can get off mute. Hello.
Oh, okay. I said, you originally had said something that I wanted to respond to. Then other brothers said something that then he asked me a question
by the way,
that I'm supposed to respond to.
Before you continue,
hold on, bro. What I want to do is I want us to.
You made a sin.
Just listen to me.
Do not sin,
bro. Just listen, brother.
Okay.
What I want us to do is let's set a standard in what right now is what we're talking. Let's one person talk, ask a question, let the other person answer, and then go from there. Like we're in a circle passing the ball around. If you don't have the ball, don't speak. Let the other person speak. Because it gets confusing. We're gonna talk over each other. We're not gonna benefit from
all right, not a problem, Double A. Let me run the live. I know how to run the live. All right.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and talk one at a time. Don't worry about me and Bar's question. Just go ahead and answer M's question. Go ahead, Ems.
Just quickly asking a question. Are you Sunni?
Yeah, I'm Sunni.
Okay, and do you take the salaf?
The what?
Do you take the Salaf?
Do I take the Salaf? Explain that.
Do you follow the Salaf?
Explain that.
The Salaf.
Explain it.
Okay. The Salaf is the first three generations of the Prophet. The Prophet.
The first.
Hey man, you're gonna have to go somewhere else where the kids ain't playing at, man.
First generations of the prophets. The first three generations.
No. The first three generations of the followers of the Prophet.
Okay.
The companions, their companions, and their companions.
So are you asking me, do I follow them?
Do you take from them, which is the manhaj, or the methodology of Sunni Muslims who follow Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah, the people of Sunnah and consensus? Do you take
what I take is what from the Prophet of Islam, a Prophet of Muhammad. Prophet of Muhammad.
Hey, Double A, I'm sorry. Hold on, give me a second.
Your Prophet said in the hadith.
Hey, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Double A, can you get somewhere where your kids aren't playing, bro? Because all we're hearing is their voices in the background, and I could barely hear you. So can you? Are they playing out in the living room or something like that, or can you have noise canceling headphones? Because I could barely hear you what you're saying.
Yeah, I get you, brother. I get you. Yeah, my son is running around, and I'm watching him and the baby at the same time. Adam, hey, sit down.
So advice for you.
What I was saying was that I practice what Prophet Muhammad will practice.
Sure.
All right, go ahead, Dims.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead, Dims.
The way the Prophet said, this is a side point, but the Prophet said there is no brotherhood between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, and the consensus of Muslim scholars is that you're not allowed to call a non-Muslim your brother. So you're sinning multiple times on the life, just giving that out, and then we can get to the topic. Understood?
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Double A.
I did not understand what could you please read?
The Prophet said there is no brotherhood between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, and then I said that the consensus of Sunni scholars is that it is a sin to be referring to a non-Muslim as your brother.
Whenever any one of us or I yourself, when we say something like that, and we say it says this, we need to come up with source. So where does it say that in the Quran that it says that they're not your brothers? They are not someone who is not Muslim is not your brother, or
he's getting it.
Okay. And while he's getting that, I wanted to answer the question that he was asking me about of the Salaf or the generations. I don't believe in anything but what Prophet Muhammad, when I say Sunni, is the practice of what Prophet Muhammad has done, and that's a sunnah. The sunnah of the way that the Prophet has what he did, his acts. That's what I follow, and the Quran is what I follow. Anything else outside of that, I would need a very reliable source, and that is very reliable.
So you don't follow any of the hadiths or anything like that?
Listen,
Hey man, y'all, everybody fucking mute. God, mute. Please. You niggas have daddy daycare and y'all at the sickness health clinic and shit. Mute.
Yes,
mute. Stop talking and mute. Stop mute. I know it wasn't you. Mute the fucking mics. Jesus.
Yeah, do me a favor, y'all.
Niggas coming off mute to cough and sneeze. What's up?
Y'all, do me a favor, y'all. When y'all on this stage, please, if you're taking care of kids, just tell me to give you 10-15 minutes, and then you'll come back in a second, because all the sneezing and the coughing and the hearing the children in the background talking about daddy come play Mario Kart with me. The shit is annoying, bro. Like, please. My goodness. All right. So, Ims, go ahead. You were telling us when there was Jesus Christ, bro.
I'm trying to put it on the screen. My connection is horrible.
Oh, you're trying to put it on the screen, but you can go ahead and read it if you can do that. I'll once you got it on the screen, I'll make you large. You got it? All right, there we go. Give me a second. I'm gonna expand.
Put me on the screen.
Yeah, here we go.
My connection is not shit.
There we go, Ims. You're good.
وإذا كان كافرا فإنه لا يجوز مناداته بكلمة يا أخي، لأنه لا أخوة بين الكافر والمسلم، لقوله تعالى إنما المؤمنون إخوة في الحجرات 10. And then هل يمكن أن ننادي المسيحيين إخواننا مثل المسلمين؟ فالإجابة يحرم اتخاذ المسيحيين إخوانا. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and may I ask you what did you read and where is it from?
The source is projected here.
Let me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
See what you asked again. Go ahead. Repeat what you said.
Oh, I said, where did you get what you read, and where is it from? What's the source, and what is it that you read?
It's in Al-Hujurat 10, in the Quran, and the tafsir of this verse, and the consensus by the scholars.
So you read from the Quran. What verse is what verse? I can look at it. What verse did you read?
إنما المؤمنون إخوة. This is Al-Hujurat 10, that believers are brothers.
No, what verse?
The tafsir of it by Ibn Kathir, the Tabari, Qurtubi, and Al-Jalalayn, and Al-Baghawi. I said Al-Hujurat 10.
What surah is that? What verse? What surah? You said you read it from the Quran. What surah is that?
The number, sure. Let me look up the number.
All right, cool. So while he's doing that, hold on.
Yeah, no,
while he's doing that, hold on. While he's doing that, let me just go ahead and get to the other people on stage so we can see where they stand. All right, so babies, B4, I don't know how to say your name. The person that just came up, B4, are you at least 18 and any religious tradition?
Yeah, I'm a Catholic Christian. I'm from Haiti. Yeah.
Oh, you Catholic from Haiti. All right, so I got fit.
Yeah.
All right. So, Big Dog, how about you, Big Dog? Are you at least 18 and any religious tradition? Why did Big Dog drop? I don't know why he dropped.
What I wanted to say was, while Am is looking for this, I wanted everybody to also look at it.
Double A, he's giving you the chapter and verse. My God.
Al-Hujurat in the English numbering of the Quran would be 49 and verse number 10.
All right, he's on teacup right now.
And the tafsir of it by Ibn Kathir, Al-Tabari, Al-Qurtubi, Al-Jalalayn, any of the scholars, they give you the tafsir that this indicates that brotherhood is only between believers, and non-believers are not brothers to believers, and it is not allowed to call a non-believer your brother.
All right. Hey, Rooster, I'm not sure what's going on, but you're not connecting. Try again. All right. Yeah, Rooster, go ahead and try again, Rooster, because I don't know what was going on, but you just weren't connecting. If anyone here would like to talk about what's going on, or let's talk about what's happening on the board, please let's go ahead and request up and we could keep on talking. I'm gonna have to move on really soon. But Double A, hold on. I'm gonna have to move on really soon, y'all. Let's get to 20,000 likes before the next 5 minutes. I know that we can do it. Tap that screen to get to 20,000 likes, or we'll turn off those comments if we don't get that 20,000. All right. So Double A, go ahead and respond to what Ems was saying, and then we're gonna move on. All right, he's on teacup again. Double A, when you switch out the app, I can't hear you.
49 and whatnot. I was writing it down on my notes so that
49:10.
49:10.
And any of the classical tafsir.
Okay, so chapter 49, verse 10.
It literally just says 3 words in believers are like believers are
49:10. Okay, I'll read it and I'll get back to you. Give me 1 second. I'll do the teacup thing. I guess I don't know what I didn't know that happens.
All right, not a problem. All right, so how's it going before? Now you said that you are Catholic and from Haiti, correct? Yeah, we shouldn't be Christian, bro. Like it wasn't Catholicism that started the revolution. It was our voodoo that started the revolution.
Understandable point. But personally, the reason why I'm Christian is because there's historical evidence of Jesus Christ. Many historians, both Christian and non-Christian, agree there was a man 2,000 years ago named Jesus Christ and got crucified.
So before, hold on.
Yeah, what's up?
I grew up in church. I know about all that, right? So I'm Haitian too. So you know how we grew up. L'église l'école like I. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we all know that. Hold on. So when it comes to Jesus' existence, right? I don't have a big problem with him existing as a person. The thing I highly doubt, or the thing that I don't think is true, is his superpowers. That's what I don't think is true. And not only that, there's no way to show that he was even the son of the creator of the universe. There's no evidence of that. And number 3, personally, when it comes to Haiti in of itself, Christianity, the church is nothing for us, bro. Like the church has done absolutely nothing for Haiti. You know what I mean? There's plenty of archdioceses that do good work in Haiti. I understand that. You know what I mean? But the Pope has never been visited there. The Vatican don't give us no type of bread to reform our society. Nothing. So Christianity and the church does nothing for Haiti. So that means that we need to move on, stop praying, stop waiting for Jesus to save us, and let's fix our things ourselves.
Okay, good argument. But personally, my faith isn't placed in Christianity or the Catholic Church is placed in Christ. Now, let me try to make something clear here, right? The evidence of Jesus Christ is so-called superpowers, right? And the evidence of him resurrecting from the dead is
let's talk
hundreds.
Let's talk about evidence of him resurrecting from the dead. What evidence do we have of that? Because the only reference we have to hundreds of witnesses is Paul and I think the book of Acts and nothing else. Only Paul just simply says it happened. How do we verify that that 500 people actually saw him? What do we have? Into reference to any archaeological evidence? What do we have?
I personally cannot say. I do not know. But I will say one thing, that it does matter. The eyewitness testimony does matter. Thousands of people came and saw Christ and died for that fact.
Right, but hold on. Before, I understand that, right? You're repeating what I just said. Paul says that happened. What I'm asking you, how do we verify that actually did happen? Because Paul is simply doing a trust me, bro. This happened and boom, that was it. How do we verify what Paul actually said? What verification do we have?
I got 2 things. The first one is what you said, the fact that the people who witnessed him claim to have witnessed him and died for it. And 2, almost all of history.
You're not really understanding what I'm saying.
Okay.
Paul says that 500 people saw Christ. What evidence do we actually have of that other than Paul simply saying so? That's what I'm asking.
Are you asking in the sense of historical, like archaeological stuff?
Yeah. What historical evidence do we have other than Paul simply saying so?
Oh, I don't have any in the top of my head at the moment. I don't.
There isn't any.
Okay.
It's simply just Paul saying so. So if I were to tell you, like for example, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. If I were to tell you I have $5 billion in the Bahamas, quit your job, follow me to Nassau, Bahamas, and I'll give you $100 million. Are you going to believe that just because I say so?
No, I'd ask you for the evidence of it, right?
Exactly. So even if Bar up here were to say I have that, Bar, go ahead and tell him I have this $5 billion. You saw it, right?
Yes, with my own eyes.
How about you, Night March? Did you see?
No.
Hold on, Dom, quiet. All right, Night March, you saw the $5 billion, right?
The other people. Wait, what were you saying?
Hold on, not you before. I'm just going around the panel. Hey, Night Marge, you saw that had the $5 billion, right?
No evidence of it.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Twa, did you see I had the $5 billion?
Yeah, I seen it. I did.
Yep.
He even
So
gave me
there's-
some first.
Yeah, so there's 3 people up here who said they had the $5 billion. Are you gonna believe me?
Will you put your life on it though? Will you die for them? Will they all die for
Yeah,
it?
they
Like, let me explain. Right. They were like nobody. Listen, the people who witnessed Christ, many of them got beheaded, tortured.
All right,
One of them got skinned alive, sawed in half.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking with the apostles.
The apostles.
When
All right,
they
cool.
went and spread
So
the
when it comes to the apostles, let's slow down. Let's slow down.
Mhm.
When it comes to the apostles, there's something that we have to understand. The disciples and the apostles, we only know what happened to them through church tradition. Only the church is telling us this, right? And the Vatican is telling us this. The Vatican is telling us this is what happened to the church member, to his disciples. Other than the church simply telling us that, we have no reference onto what actually happened to them. Like none.
Okay.
So you see the problem there?
But I have to tell you another thing though. All of history is just faith based. Why can't you have some faith in the church though?
So
all history is not faith based.
Of course it is. You can't prove for a thing that Martin Luther King was in that podium in Spree.
we're not doing that.
No. Listen. Let me finish.
Before, yes, we can. Hold on, everybody pause. Because I'm gonna let everybody else go ahead. So before, we actually can prove that Martin Luther King did that because it was recorded.
What makes you think that it wasn't tampered with? What I'm trying to say, listen, my point is that
I'm actually from Birmingham. My grandfather was even my grandfather marched with Martin Luther King. My grandfather was literally there. I have actual historic evidence. He even patted my grandfather on the shoulder because he was a young man out there marching with him. So that physically happened.
Okay.
I'm a person from Birmingham, Alabama.
You're hearing that from your father.
Hold on, stop. Everybody, pause. Let's try to talk one at a time. So before, the reason why Twa's reasoning is stronger than yours is because that was only one generation removed. Like she grew up with her grandfather. If he's still alive, rest in peace if he's not. But if he's still alive, she can go actually talk to him and say, hey, what happened with Martin Luther King? And we actually have a first-hand reference. For Jesus, we mostly have second and third hand references where I knew a guy who knew a guy. That's second hand. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's not a lot. But even if we just accept that Jesus existed, him rising from the dead is even worse because we don't even have primary sources for that. It's only Paul saying 500 people saw it, an event that happened 30 years before him. He wasn't there to see it. You see what I'm saying? So that all this causes issues with the claim that Jesus rose from the dead.
Okay. But let me tell you something though. Almost everything in life is faith-based though, which you're not putting that. No. Seriously, I'm being serious. Let's chill out real quick. Everything in life is faith-based. For example, you cannot prove 100% certainty that we're not in a dream right now. You can't prove or disprove anything. You can only look at the evidence and hope that it's not a lie most of the time. And especially if people are willing to put their lives on the line for it, which is what I'm trying to explain, which is why I use the Martin Luther King analogy. We cannot prove 400% certain that man that was on there, that stage, that podium that was giving that speech was exactly him. But we have faith because we see that the evidence is trustworthy because people put their lives on the line for it. All of history is faith-based. It's up for you to choose what you put your faith in or not.
Before, if you have evidence, you don't need faith. Faith doesn't require evidence, bro.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. That's not the definition of faith.
Okay.
I know what you're going to use. You're going to use the biblical definition.
I'm not using biblical definition. I'm using the literal,
the literal definition of faith does not carry evidence, bro.
You can't have faith without a slimmer of evidence, bro. It doesn't work that way.
That's exactly how you have faith. Because guess what? Did the Greeks have faith that Zeus existed?
I don't know.
Yes, they did. We know they did, bro. Come on, don't play around. We know that the Greeks had faith in Zeus. They literally built temples to the fucking guy. Of course they had faith in Zeus. Did they have evidence that Zeus existed? Or they just saw that there was lightning? Exactly.
They didn't have faith he existed.
Exactly. They had faith that Zeus existed. They built fucking temples to the guy. So they had faith that he existed. So they had faith that he existed, but they didn't have evidence. They simply observed a phenomenon that they couldn't understand.
Yeah, that's what
hold on. They saw a phenomenon that they couldn't understand, and they attributed it to a God. right? But they did not have evidence. So yes, you can have evidence and think you can. When you can't have faith in something with zero evidence, faith has nothing to do with evidence. If you have evidence of something, you don't have faith.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. I mixed up my words there. I was trying to say they didn't have evidence of Zeus' existence. Yeah, you got that. My bad.
Cool. So, Coco wanted to respond to this. Coco, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but I was gonna say that no, I totally agree with that. Faith is believing in something that like hasn't happened yet, or something that like there's no evidence for. If there's evidence, there's no faith. Sure, you can say like, I would say like all worldviews are gonna have like some presupposition at some point, right? Like I hold to like well, okay, we don't need to go into all that, but like, yeah, like there are gonna be some things that you hold, and like, yeah, it could be the case we're in the Matrix, but I mean, like that's you. I mean, we grant certain things given like utility or given like, you know, maybe there's some kind of like evidence or probability raising thing that would give us like warrant to grant those things. Like whenever I look at like Jesus or God, right? You have anonymous gospels that are dated like decades, if not hundreds of years after. I mean, like, and the gospels like contradict each other, or like they have events that like one gospel talks about that earlier gospels don't talk about. So like you don't really have firsthand accounts that are like legitimate, so we can like identify who the writers are, and like the events vary, they're unsubstantiated. There's plenty of reasons not to trust the gospels I can like elucidate for you.
But okay. So contradictions in the Bible, I want you to tell me one or two at least.
Okay, yeah. So whenever it comes to Matthew and John, right? Matthew's going to say that Jesus was born during Herod's time, while John is going to indicate that Jesus was born during Quirinius's time, and those are 10 years apart.
Okay, but I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
There's, let's say in a jury, right? There's a jury, and then everyone has different perspectives on the same story, but it all aligns to one outcome. For example, let's say some guy stole a chocolate bar, right? And then they go and ask the jury or eyewitnesses. Some said he stole a piece of candy. Some said he stole a lollipop. Did it change the fact that he still stole something?
Yeah. I actually totally agree with you. Like whenever policemen arrest 5 people and they're talking about an event, the details are going to vary slightly, right? Every single person, it's going to vary slightly. If they all say the same thing, it means that they made up a lie. But the issue with the Gospels is that you have Gospels that are earlier Gospels that don't mention whole events that other later Gospels are mentioning, right? So John's going to talk about like Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, but no other Gospel is going to talk about that, right? Matthew's going to talk about Jesus whenever he rose from the dead. There was an eclipse or something like that, and a bunch of people rose out of the grave, and you had a bunch of zombie prophets walking around. No other gospel talks about
that.
Right?
Wait. We're talking about zombies?
Yeah. So like
in Matthew, I'm sorry. I was going to bring that up too. In Matthew, I think it was Matthew 15. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me go there real quick.
Hold on. So let me just find it. So in Matthew, he talks about they talk about when Jesus rose from the dead. What's all that noise? God, what do y'all be doing, bro? Do y'all be in y'all workshops or some shit? Well, when y'all get up here, like, my goodness. All right. So in Matthew, after Jesus dies, right, it says that they were caskets or people who actually rose from the dead. Those are zombies. You want to find like the right verse?
Yeah. So Matthew chapter 27, verse 51, if you read there and onwards, it talks about how after Jesus passes, the earth shakes, and we get a story of graves opening and people coming out to greet everybody.
Okay, let me see. Is it barbarous or Jesus? Pilate question Jesus. Suicide of Judas. The crucifixion of Jesus. The death of Jesus. The burial of Jesus. The guard of the tomb. Hold on.
Are you going to Matthew chapter 27, verse 51?
Let me go. At the moment, a certain temple was torn into from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs also were open, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised.
Yeah.
After his resurrection, they came out the tomb and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now,
Yeah. So that part of the Bible talks about how like the prophets are raising out of the grave. They go and they speak to many people. Only Matthew talks about that, but no other gospels talk about that. So like from my position, right? Like Mark talks about Jesus's life, and that's going to be like your earliest gospel. All the other gospels are dated later. It seems as if like as these gospels are being dated later, and when they're dated, you don't even get their names. You don't get their names till Irenaeus says something, right? But like as these gospels are getting dated, it seems as if they're adding details to Jesus's life, and the story's becoming more and more miraculous because Mark doesn't talk about the people raising out of the graves. Neither does any other gospel, even the ones that come after.
I also believe that speaking to this point, even though I had a completely different point that I wanted to address, but as far as this point, there's many things that even when John was writing the Bible, there's parts that he took out, especially when he was talking about Simon of Cyrene. John completely took out Simon out of the story and just talked about Jesus. And he completely just ignored that entire story where Paul and the others in Matthew talked about Simon of Cyrene.
Yep. Also, Matthew talks about how King Herod, he sent his soldiers out to unalive all of the children, right, that were being born during that time to prevent Jesus from being born. Nobody else talks about this. Only Matthew talks about this. Like, you don't get that in any of the other gospels. We don't get any first accounts.
So we need to. Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I was gonna
because we done spent 30 minutes talking about Jesus Christ, and that's not why you're Christian. You're not Christian because of the teachings of Jesus. That's not how black people got Christianity. That's not why we are Christian. Your personal opinions about Jesus and Christianity comes after generations of oppression and subjugation and black people being forced to be Christian. It comes after that. Our initial introduction to this religion is not the historicity of Jesus. Historically incorrect. We are Christian because of the Doomed Verses, not because whether or not Jesus was a real person subjectively. That's irrelevant to this topic, actually. Our people, because
quite relevant, though.
No, it is not.
It is
because we're dealing with we're dealing with mythology.
I want to say
whether you think. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Whether you think Jesus Christ was a real person, all of your work is still ahead of you because you now have to explain how a nomadic deity from the Levant region is the creator of the universe, when we can literally look at the anthropology and archaeology that shows us that Yahweh evolves over time into what it is today.
What? I didn't understand the same.
The God Yahweh starts off as this Midianite deity from the Levant.
Explain that word, the Levant.
He's not gonna know none of that stuff.
So before
that's what I'm asking.
Before we're talking about where Israel was at in ancient times. Israel, Canaan, those areas. That's the Levant.
Okay.
So
man, I want you to. We need to.
I'm sorry, Bar. So yeah, because I want Twa to go as well. So before, this is where this entire religion comes from. Hey, Shaw, be quiet, stay on mute. So before, this is where this religion comes from, right? It comes from that region. Absolutely nothing to do with Africa. And after the Atlantic slave trade, it's the entire reason why we have it, because our colonizers are hold on, it's the one that our colonizers gave to us. All right. We were not Christian, and that entire area has nothing to do with us. Bro, are you in your workshop? What's all that noise I'm hearing? Christ.
I don't know.
Hold on. I'm talking about you. There's a bunch of noise in your background, just like that. Like, are you in your workshop, bro? Oh my goodness.
No, it's probably my mic. My mic is sensitive. It's my breath.
All right, cool. So that area is the Levant, has nothing to do with us. And when Bar said Yahweh evolved over time, he started off as a deity that was for them around that time. And then when the Israelites became a culture, he became their storm and war deity. Actually, he became their main deity because they were at war. So the war deity became the main one. That's what we mean by all that. Twa, did you want to add something? Go ahead.
Where did we get that from?
Yeah. I wanted to say, because like there's a parallel between like the is not real play, the thing that the occupation thing that's happening, but like those J people in that place, they think that they are following the actual religion, but they're actually this Zio word. And just like here in the United States, because of enslavement, many of us think that we're Christians, but we're not even following real Christianity. It's actually YT nationalism. But because we're not able to see, like before, don't even know about this actual culture from these other people, because they colonized us and gave us this version to, I guess, like, I don't know, skew the idea and identity, which is why it's so harmful for us to align with it. And also for you to be from Haiti. I don't know that much about Haiti, but I know about the Haitian Revolution. I think Host even tried to mention earlier, like Christianity wasn't what saved y'all. Y'all are actually known as like the first people to liberate yourselves, and you did it using what people would call BLK magic. Yeah, these actual African cosmologies that we were forced out of or punished out of using and forced into these churches and Christianity and Catholicism, etc. Because the African cosmology is what saves us.
Exactly. All right, everybody pause for me real quick. I said I was gonna be on for an hour and a half, max 2 hours. So I got about 30 more minutes before I gotta get out of here. And I want us to go ahead and move on. So there's a reason why we say that Black people should not be Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite. We spend all your time talking about whether Jesus not existed, or if you can prove that, if there's biblical contradictions and all that other good stuff. This was the religion of our enslavers that have nothing to do with us. Why should we then be Christian?
Well, personally, because you can do the research on your own and find historical evidence and practice faith as you practice every day in your life with everything.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to Real. Real, how's it going? Are you at least actually, no, Real, you are after Thinker. Thinkers Nation, how's it going, Thinkers Nation? Are you at least 18 and Black person and Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
Yes, hi everybody. I'm 44 and well, I grew up Christian because that's what my family did. However, as I got older, I debunked that for myself. So, but I just wanted to say, I don't know if anybody else had experienced this. So when I was in elementary school, and I think my gym teacher was trying to get us to do critical thinking, he put us all in a circle and had us all hold hands and everybody spread out in a big giant, in the big gymnasium. And one person started with the story, told the next person in the ear. Everybody told everybody the story that they heard. It went around the room. And by the end, the last person, the story was totally different. It was so, just from everybody changing it and making it what they wanted to, or making it what they wanted to hear. So with that being said, that showed me right there that it's hard for me to believe something without really seeing it myself or experiencing it myself. So when everybody says all these stories and all, and my first thing is like, okay, well, how long ago was this? So I use my critical thinking. So I just wanted to know if anybody else had that experience in school, because I feel like that was something that my gym teacher did that was kind of like out of the curriculum, but it set me up for where I am now. Like I don't believe a lot of stuff. Just so I'll have to see it for myself. Right. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, we did telephone when I was a kid as well. We did that game, and it was teaching us they always taught us to do that in order to teach us on, having to verify things yourself, or just like how you said, critical thinking. Just don't believe what someone else tells you. Try to go ahead and verify what was said before you actually believe it. What my teacher did when we played telephone, it would go through about 10 people, and then they would tell the 10th person to go ask the third person what was actually said. And you would see how much the story changed from that point on, right? And then they would say, all right, now that the third person actually says, then go to the person after you. And then even when they did that, by the end of the game, the story would still change. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that telephone game actually shows us is like, even if you get the original story, if it keeps going down the line, somehow, some way it's still going to change. But I appreciate you saying that, Thinkers Nation. Give me 1 sec. I gotta go talk to Real, just to see, because I'm gonna get off soon. Real.
No problem. I can drop, but I appreciate it. I watch you all the time. Thank you guys. I appreciate the conversation.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for being up. All right. Y'all, I do appreciate that. Y'all, let's keep tapping that screen. I definitely want to hear more from Bartois and Night Marge. Real, are you at least 18? And did you have a religious tradition?
Yes, I'm 41. I'm a Christian.
41 and a Christian. All right. You and probably fat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. My bad, bro.
41 Christian, and I'm assuming that you are black in the United States, correct?
That's correct.
African American, correct?
That's correct.
All right, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and talk to you now, Real. I think I'm gonna let Bar and Twa and Night March handle this one, because I've been talking a lot. Now, we don't believe that black people should be Christian because it's the religion of our enslavers and our colonizers, and it was used to oppress us. And even now until today, Christianity in the United States, and I would say the entire West, operates in a white supremacist fashion. That's why we shouldn't be Christian. It has nothing to do with us. It's not our ancestry. And not only that, we can't even prove it to be true. That's why we think that black people should be Christian. Why do you think that we should be? Bar and Twa will talk to you now. Go ahead, Real. Why do you think we should be?
Well, my question is when did Christianity was forced on the black people?
Yeah, during the 15th century, the Pope, he told Henry the Navigator that he could monopolize, and basically he had the authority to kidnap black people as long as he baptized his cargo. And so you can read about that in there's a book you can read. It's called Black AF History, and it talks about the church fight that started slavery. And in that book, it talks about in 1455, Pope Nicholas told Henry that he could traffic black people as long as he baptized them first.
Okay, well, I find that's not true, man. Because number one, when it comes to the Pope,
it is actually true, because they then went to the Igbo lands that is in present day Nigeria, and started kidnapping the people. Well, first they started introducing Christianity to the people of the Igbo lands.
I'm not saying that didn't happen.
It did in fact happen. That's why majority of us African Americans, we come from the Igbo people. Many of us have lots of Igbo heritage because of these first introductions of the Igbo people that Bar is talking about. After they were sent with this Christian book. And then also the Oyo Empire of the Yoruba people, they also translated the Bible into Yoruba. And that's why many of us are also Yoruba descendants. Because of this that you're saying is not real. That's why we are these Igbo, Yoruba, and many other things.
No, I agree. It happened. What I was trying to explain is that the Council of Nicaea began in the 4th century. Christianity began in the 1st century.
Right, but we're not talking about the Council of Nicaea. We're talking about how black people became Christian. People who are West Indian, who are black South American, black Latinos, African Americans, we all come from Western and Central Africa. The Igbo people, the Akan people, the Yoruba people, the Bokongo people. This is where we come from, right? These are our cultures, and we've retained a lot of that through those cultures. We see that through the Bantu Nach, the habitual be, et cetera, the way our language works, all that. So we know we came from those people. Christianity was spread to those people through colonialism and through the sword. It had nothing to do with us beforehand. That's what we're saying.
What about North Africa?
In Northern Africa, they got Islam, and the Ethiopians got Christianity, and the Somalians got Islam as well. What you was gonna say, Bar? My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say North Africa, and I try to tell people this: Northern Africa was already conquered by European people prior to them.
Hey, Bar, I'm sorry. Bar, I'm sorry. Can you pause me real quick? Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Double A, we're not letting you back up, bro. Go take care of the kids, because every time we put you up, all we hear is your kid. All we hear is your kids screaming, bro. Like you're already done for. Ems has already left. The conversation you and him have is over. Okay, like we don't need to hear the kids screaming, yelling, and sneezing all. Go ahead and do daddy get daycare. All right, that is more important than talking to us. All right, go ahead and take care of the kids. We'll talk to you later, another time, because that shit was too loud. All right, go ahead, Barb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and double A, justice for Aisha. So black people should not practice religion where the prophet married a 6-year-old and then consecrated their marriage when she was 9. So that's all we got for you. You got to go wrestle with that. Like you follow a PDF file. But back to you. Yeah, police be upon them. But back to you, real. Yeah, North Africa. North Africa was already compromised prior to Christianity. European people, white people were already in control of that area. And so when Christianity comes on the scene,
but they wasn't Christian. The Greeks wasn't Christian in the first century.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying that the region was already conquered by white people. So when Christianity comes on the scene, when Rome adopts Christianity, because North Africa was under Roman rule, it was imposed on them as well. And you see this in 391, they come out with the where Emperor Theodosius requires that the Serapeum temples that the Egyptians, the North Africans, they were worshiping Serapis. In 391, the temples were destroyed in Africa, in North Africa.
But can we stick to the first century, please? I would like to stick, because I understand the fourth century. Yeah. So that's when the Council of Nicaea, came into being.
Okay, right. First century, there were no Christians. There were no
Christians in the first century, bro.
There is no Christianity. There is no Christianity in North Africa in the first century. We have nothing to suggest that there was. The only thing that says that is in the 4th century, going back to the 4th century. In the 4th century, in Ecclesiastical, in his works, his name is Eusebius. He's the one that said that in the 1st century, Mark the evangelist took Christianity to Egypt in the 1st century. Outside of him saying that in his tradition, we have nothing from the 1st century in North Africa that would suggest that they were predominantly Christian, heavy on Christianity, practicing that religion. We have nothing from that time period.
Well, in the 1st century, that's when Christianity started in 30 to 33 AD. And let me explain. In the book of Acts, chapter 11, verse 20, it states that men of Cyprus and Cyrene preach unto the Greeks.
All right,
Cyrene is modern day Libya.
All right, so real. All this is irrelevant. Black people shouldn't be Christian still, bro.
How that's irrelevant? I'm telling you,
it's all irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant because I'm showing you that there were African Christians in the 1st century.
Sir, the Bible is not a history book.
Who says who?
Because if you read it, it literally has 2 different date ranges for when this Jesus Christ creature, it has 2 different date ranges for when he was born. And so if we're going to say it's history,
how's that?
Which
Jesus Christ creature is crazy.
Man, look, I'm trying to skip this and get to the black people shouldn't be Christian.
The Christian part. Yeah, exactly. So wait, but so you're saying that hold on. You're saying that there were Christians in Africa in the 1st century, yada yada yada. We're not from Libya, bro. We ain't from Libya. All right, that's not who descended from. We descended from Western and Central Africa. All right, it didn't even get to Ethiopia until the 4th century. So I'm not sure how it was in Libya in the 1st. If it didn't even get to Ethiopia in the 4th, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So these are interesting things that we have to parse out. But besides parsing that out, black folks should still not be Christians. Us as people who are sub-Saharan African descent should not be Christian because it was used to enslave and colonize us. It's the religion of our enslavers. It has nothing to do with us, and we can't even show it to be true. Shouldn't we show something to be true first before we believe it, or put our all into it?
Yeah, I agree with the host, and we have truth and evidence of like hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Opia, Isheshe, Lukumi. All of these things literally liberated our people or protected people, helped them from sicknesses or such a thing. Like these are real things. Real, no doubt. If you grew up in the South, you probably are practicing hoodoo without you even knowing it, but you think it's Christian because you are lying to yourself. All you have to do is separate yourself from this Christianity because it is endangering you as a Black person, disconnecting you from truth and reality. And you trying to prove these 4th century and Europeanness, what they got to do with us, man?
Well, I'm just letting y'all know that Christianity wasn't forced on.
And I personally don't care. How about that?
Can I finish? I mean, we just having a conversation. It's cool. I'm just saying that people in the 1st century, Christianity wasn't forced on them.
And the Bantu people were having an African cosmology that was so rich that they can communicate with the plants and the animals. And you would forego all of that to go follow a Santa Claus version of something that is actually a warlord that you don't know about. You don't know nothing of eons or anything, but you're following this thing that you think is something that crackers who hate your guts gave you.
It don't have anything to do with white people. Christianity,
yes, it do.
Christianity began in Israel. That's in Asia, so it doesn't have anything to do with the Europeans.
Sir, whenever y'all bring up, whenever y'all bring up the Middle East and the 1st century, y'all, are you familiar with what's called the Hellenistic period?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
The Hellenistic period is when the Greeks basically came and took over all of that, North Africa, the Middle East, the Levant, Asia Minor, all of that was conquered, colonized, and ruled over by the Greeks and then the Romans. It's called the Hellenistic period. So even though we're talking about Israel and the Middle East, these people were under Roman oppression, Greek oppression.
Yes, I agree with that. They were.
So, and they were, during that time period, in the time of antiquity, these peoples were required to worship Greek Hellenized figures and then Roman deities. Literally. That's why when you brought up North Africa, I was trying to explain to you that prior to any Christianity, those North Africans were already being persecuted for not worshiping the statue of Ptolemy I.
Now, Christianity was atheist to the pagan gods.
You ain't listening to me.
I heard
what you said. So real. Here's we want to get to the nitty gritty here.
Volcy, yeah. Let me skip him. Let me skip him along. Okay. What does Black people have to do with Israel and Christianity? What does that have to do with us? Please tell me.
Hello, you talking to
you?
Yeah.
What do the Israelites and Christianity have to do with sub-Saharan Africans? Tell me that.
I mean, nothing really, but
exactly.
But really in truth.
So hold on. So real. Hold on. Stop. It has that culture, that deification of that culture has nothing to do with us. So you already agree with that. Can we show it to be true?
It's definitely true all through history.
All right. So real. My question is, how do we show that this Yahweh creature who spoke to the Middle East people for some reason, he spoke directly to them, but for some reason everybody else is supposed to accept it, and he chose this magic people in order to make himself a baby with a 14-year-old in order to create a loophole for the rules he created himself by sacrificing himself to himself as a virgin blood sacrifice. How do we show all that to now be true?
Yeah, all I can really tell you, bro, it's true because Christianity began in the 1st century and it began
real. Hold on.
Trying to answer your question.
No. You think that you're answering it, but you're not. I'm asking you, how do we show it to be true? And you simply said, I don't know what to tell you. It just is. That's not how you show something to be true. Like, for example, if I want to show you that I was in the military, I just got to go ahead and get my wallet, show you my CAT card, and show you my plaque from when I was in the Air Force, and that'll be evidence that I was in the military. So my question to you is, how do we show that Christianity, this story of the creator of the universe making humans through dirt, then some woman ate a magical fruit from a magic tree, and then thousands of years later, this God, in order to create a loophole for the rules he created himself, then impregnated himself with a 16-year-old and did a ritual blood sacrifice at the age of 33. Like, how do we show all that to now be true? How do we do that?
My answer that I can give is history and archaeology. That's the answer.
Okay, cool. So what archaeology do we have that Adam and Eve is true? Because there's no archaeology that shows that Adam and Eve is real.
There's no, but it's history. Josephus, he speaks of that. He speaks of Adam.
So Josephus was only writing down. Josephus actually wrote about Jesus, and even that is disputed because that might be Christian interpolation. It's disputed because when Josephus wrote about Jesus and that he rose from the dead, he was writing Christian interpolation. We know that for sure. Yes. So now we don't even hold on. So now all his other references to Jesus, we're not even sure if those could be interpolation or not. But the second thing that I would say is that he never actually wrote about Adam and Eve. He never wrote about that. He only wrote about Jesus. But the third thing that I would say is that what archaeology do we have to show that Adam and Eve actually existed or the Garden of Eden was a real place? What archaeology do we have to show this? Where can I find that?
I'm not sure, but I believe there is archaeological evidence.
There's not
Eden.
Bro, there's not. There's not.
Okay. But you do agree that Josephus, so you're saying that Josephus didn't mention Adam and Eve at all in his Antiquities of the Jews? Yes, he did.
Josephus wrote about Adam and Eve?
Yes, he has.
If that's the case, I'll correct myself. Give me a second.
So what exactly are you saying?
Okay, yeah, he recounts the story of Adam and Eve. He was right about that. He does recount the story of Adam and Eve. But Josephus recounting the story of Adam and Eve does not necessarily mean that Adam and Eve is real, right? If you're just recounting the story.
Why would a historian write about something that's not true?
Historians write about things that are not true all the time. Historians wrote about the Battle of Troy and how Zeus came down from the sky in order to intervene in the battle. But Zeus doesn't exist. Not only that, Josephus was only writing about what the Jews believed. He's not saying that this is a true story.
No,
he's just writing what they
also
believe.
Josephus wrote about Hercules.
Yes, not in the mythological perspective.
But listen, and people forget that history, like art, is a part of history. So when you're recounting history and archiving things, art many times is either a reflection of the times through these person's interpretation, like the Diary of Anne Frank. Like that's this girl's diary. These pictures and paintings that we have of cathedrals, they're not meant to actually reflect, oh wow, this dinner did happen, or oh, this picture happened in this way. It's meant to just reflect the times, and a historian could be talking about the art from that time, like a story, like a folk tale. But that folk tale being written by a historian doesn't mean, oh, that means it's super true. It means that this historian is preserving art, literary art.
Also, he was a Torah observant Jew, so of course he's going to believe in Adam and Eve.
And he also
his cultural belief system is the Torah, so of course he's going to believe in Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, I like SpongeBob, and I would want to preserve SpongeBob, documentation, have it in a Raspberry Pi. That don't mean that SpongeBob is like a real sponge down in the ocean talking. It means that I really liked an artwork made by a guy. You see what I'm saying? So just like that, in these times, this was an artwork that people probably loved. It was just media that is being preserved through time, and you're taking literally.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, anthropologists have even said that in about 5,000 years from now, if we have a interruption in human history, like a major war and stuff like that, and people pick up the ancient media of Harry Potter and Star Wars, folks will believe that Harry Potter is a divine being and that Luke Skywalker was a divine being. We may even see wars in 5,000 years over who's the savior of humanity, Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter. You see what I'm saying? So it is one of those things, bro. They're just writing down what these people actually believe. It doesn't mean that those stories are actually real. Josephus believed in Adam and Eve, right? You're right about that. He actually did write about Adam and Eve. That is true. But that doesn't mean that Adam and Eve, the story, is actually real just because he wrote about it. He was a Torah believing Jew. So it's not surprising.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Why? Okay, he didn't believe in Jesus. He didn't believe that Jesus was the Messiah. That's very clear, and historians agree with me on that. But my thing is, why would he write about John the Baptist? Why would Josephus write about John the Baptist in his Antiquities? Why would he? Why would he even mention John the Baptist?
What do you mean? Why would he did that? He's writing the history of the Jews.
No. John the Baptist. How did he know about John the Baptist? John the Baptist was in the New Testament. So it was not in the Old Testament. No.
All right. So when my bad, Bar, go ahead. Mario was gonna say something.
And John the Baptist spoke of Jesus, actually calling Jesus the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world.
Sir, none of this explains why black people should be Christian. Sir, Josephus is a
historian.
Jew. We're not Jews.
He's a Jewish historian.
We are not Jews.
So you're saying that?
So real. Hold on. Real. Listen to what I'm saying. I understand that Josephus wrote about John the Baptist, but who cares? He was writing the history of the Jews. So of course he's going to write about John the Baptist. John the Baptist was a very important person around that time. So yeah, he's going to write his history. I'm black, right? So I'm going to write about who's an important black person right now. If I'm a historical black person, I'm going to write about LeBron James and write about Michael Jordan because those are very important people. Or I'll write about Barack Obama because that's a very important person, right? So I'm going to write about who's important around the time. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden LeBron James has superpowers, right?
But do you understand that Josephus was a first century Jew, right? And John the Baptist, he died.
Real. You're missing my point. You're missing my point.
We are not Jews. Stop. We are not Jews. This does not explain why black people should be Christian.
I get it. But
so
I'm just
how is this relevant to the topic?
Because you was asking me why should we believe in this stuff here, and I'm trying to show y'all that because it's true. And it's
real. Hold on, stop. Listen, we know that John the Baptist was a probably real person. We know that scholars typically assume that Jesus was a real guy. None of this shows that these people had superpowers. Just because they were walking around on the earth doesn't mean they had superpowers. Doesn't mean that.
Are you familiar with Justin Martyr?
Real. Listen to what I'm saying to you.
Brother.
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
What does Justin Martyr have to do with black people being forced to be Christian?
Forced? Bro, I wasn't forced to be a Christian, man.
Where do you live? Where do you live right now?
I live in the United States of America.
Yes.
What part?
And what part?
All right, down south. What's the problem?
Come on, brother.
That's even worse. Where do most black people live? Hold on, real. Listen, hold on. Listen. Just go down my dialogue tree.
Hold on, bro.
Hold on. Just go down my dialogue tree. Listen, you're a black person who lives in the South, and you're a Christian.
Yes.
How did black people get to the South?
How did black people get to the South?
How did black people get to the American South? How did that happen?
I'm assuming on a slave ship.
A slave ship, correct. So
that nigga said he's assuming, bro.
Yeah, it's true. We got through the South through slavery. During slavery and colonialism, before Africans, our ancestors, met Europeans, was Christianity in Western and Central and Southern Africa? Was it there, or were they doing something else?
You asked me if Christianity was in Southern Africa.
In Central, I don't know why I keep repeating myself. You heard the question. In Western, Central, and Southern Africa, where we're from, where our ancestors were from, where they picked up the slaves from, was Christianity there, or were all these groups of people doing something else?
The answer I can give you is I don't know.
Okay, no. The answer is no. We were not Christian before we met white people. When we met white people, that's when people started to become Christian. So when Barr says this religion was forced on you, that's exactly what we mean. It passed down the line from colonialism and slavery. The reason the majority of black people in America, in Africa, and the West Indies, in South America are Christian today is because of slavery and colonialism. I gave you that Josephus talked about John the Baptist. He talked about Jesus, etc., etc. I'm even giving you that Jesus was probably a real guy. I'm just giving that to you. That does not mean these people had powers or that they were the son of God. You're still making that disconnect. We can accept that Jesus was a real guy. Should we also accept that he was a virgin blood sacrifice from the creator of the universe who had a trillion other galaxies to choose from, but he chose this shitty one here? Why should we accept that entire story?
Because first century Christians speak of it.
So
after the apostles speak of it, and okay, you want me to give you an answer, and you just say so. I mean, bro,
I'm asking you why should we think that's true? Just because the first century people said it doesn't make it true. Are you gonna believe things just because people say so? Real. If I tell you, hold on. If I tell you I had $10 billion in the Bahamas, are you gonna believe it just because I said so? And Bar and Twa and Knight and Marge agree with me?
No, bro.
I believe it just because I said so?
Bro, no, I'm not a gullible man, bro. No.
Exactly. So saying that the first century Christian spoke of it means nothing. That's why I said so what for? Just because they said so doesn't make it true.
Okay, it's true because of my experience I had with Jesus Christ. That's why it's true.
Great. All right, great. So I'm not denying that you had an experience of something. How do we now verify that what you're attributing the experience to is actually true? Because what if I told you, I'm Haitian, right? What if I told you I had a personal experience that Papa Legba is the one true God? What are you going to tell me?
This is what I can say, bro. If you want to experience, well, I don't want to use the word experience. If you want to have that same thing that I had, meaning being baptized with the Holy Spirit by Jesus, you got to believe the gospel. That's the only thing I can give you. Simple.
Okay, so I have to accept that something is true before I accept that it's true. That's kind of crazy. Hey, Bartois, y'all got anything? Because I'm at to leave soon. I'm at 2 hours. Go ahead, Bartois. Y'all got anything? And Night March, I ain't here for you yet. Twa, go ahead.
Yeah, I think religion is completely it's just lacking in critical thinking, reasoning, facts. It's just completely based on just it's not based on history or anything. And looking at how religion has had an influence on Black people, us, it's purely through colonialism and imperialism and white supremacy. So that's my take on that. So
W Night March.
Yeah,
y'all.
We can't save them all.
We can't save them all. Yeah.
His cup runneth over, Lord.
Yeah. So real, you understand now that just because someone says something doesn't necessarily make it true, correct?
I just told you I'm not a gullible man, bro.
All right. So stop being gullible and believing in a religion that we used to enslave our ancestors. Great. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, but I'm going to go ahead and go around the table to make sure that everybody gets their just due so we can promote them and those people can tell us where to find them. Night and Mar, starting with you. Where can we find you, sis?
Oh, I'm just a random stranger on TikTok. That's it.
All right. Anytime that you go live, we're definitely going to go ahead and follow that. Twa, how about you?
Hey, I guess on BandLab, Muse, the Dreamzy. But yeah, thank you for having me up.
Of course, not a problem. Anytime you go live, we'll make sure to be there and support it. And Bar, go ahead and promote everything that you got, plus the album that's coming out. Go ahead and promote all that, bro.
Yeah. Man, Black Atheist Rants on whatever social media app you use. Type in Black Atheist Rants. My face is gonna pop up. Over on the YouTube channel, man, y'all go over there, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I'm working on some shit. We're gonna drop some new videos coming soon. And Volcy mentioned the album. It is dropping April Fool's Day. So
perfect day for it to drop.
Perfect day.
And for me, myself, you can follow me, Volcy Thoughts, on everything. Follow me, Volcy Thoughts, on Threads, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Twitch. I appreciate all y'all being here. Don't forget, y'all, the Black Atheists, Agnostic, and Skeptics and Humanist Cookout is in June, going down in June. I got the place. I got a group chat for it. Not everybody could be in the group chat, unfortunately. I may open up a signal so we can all go ahead and join to that. The RSVP is linked in my bio. Y'all go ahead and do that. I'm gonna open up a signal group soon because it's a lot of folks in there. So I'll open up the signal group. So we'll get all 30, 40 of us in there. It's going down in Central Florida. So y'all come by to the Black Atheists, Agnostic, Skeptics, and Humanist Cookout. It's gonna be for family, y'all. We're gonna have a good time. Play some flag football, play some ultimate frisbee. I'm gonna get a section for us that Saturday night. I'm trying to get a section for us. It's going down here in Central Florida. The address is in the bio. I appreciate y'all. We are gonna get out of here, y'all. I love y'all. And as always, as I end off, as always, all good. As always, as I end off, coming in April, I'm gonna be doing some green pill stuff. We're gonna be leaving the red pill. We're gonna helping young men develop into actual healthy people to understand a healthier version of masculinity. Because the red pill has done damage, but that doesn't mean that we can't take our young men back. All right. So as I always end off.
Yeah, let me come over there. I need to get on that because I know some things about that red and that blue and that purple, all that. I know about all that stuff. So.
yeah. So as I always end off, I always say every man should be soft. That means be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, be thoughtful. Every man should be soft. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Bar, if you go live, I'm gonna go ahead and get that up there. Peace, y'all. Peace.